doing a little bit of praying before the show. Welcome to GTFO Live. We are members of the Golden Triangle Freethinkers organization. I am Jerry Mandarin. Over here to my right is Mr. Will Young.
Hello.
Over to my left is Vic Demented.
Yo.
And we have a wonderful show this week, and I think we have about a grand total of about one topic.
That's the people here.
To get a Skype call.
I would love to get a
somebody
Skype call.
Skype us.
Skype us.
What's the number again?
Brandon, where are you?
GTFOTX.
I know you're home.
GTFOTX.
Saw you in the streets.
GTFOTX. He's actually, matter of fact, we could try to call him. Let me see if I can find him. You guys keep talking.
We're coming for you.
Don't bother finding us. We're finding you.
Apparently,
That's loud.
to someone, we're cooking with Crisco. So I guess that's.
No, that would be
Isn't
no.
Crisco highly fattening?
Yeah, it's fat.
Okay, so
Isn't air kind of oxygenated?
oxygeny or breathable? Isn't air kind of breathable? Now
Water is just so wet.
because we've been doing this whole show with no sound.
The whole show?
The whole show.
The whole show, yeah.
We kind of have to start over. Welcome to the GTFO. No,
That's right.
We can edit. We can edit in post.
But we can fix it in post.
okay, because we're recording.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So for those of you just joining in, we are explaining the ins and the outs of the Kountze, Texas.
All of the Kountze
Debacle.
in near Silsbee
in Hardin County.
Hardin County, all those
Port
Kountze
Neches
out
Groves,
there.
Nederland have joined in support of these. They're calling it the Sea of Red. What they're doing now, the campaign of the red T-shirts with the Bible scriptures on it.
Right.
Which
So they're
is-
supporting Satan, from what I understand, right? That's what Sea of Red means,
It's
right?
the red of the blood, the blood of the lamb.
Blood.
Oh,
No,
okay.
human sacrifice. Blood.
Blood.
Yeah. Sea of Red. That's what I...
Feed me, Seymour.
You need to learn. That's where it is. There you go.
Isn't
it's
Christianity
hard.
a blood cult to begin with?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
it is. It's a blood cult.
It's all based around a human sacrifice?
Yeah.
And eating the dead flesh of your
Correct.
Messiah, washing his blood over you, drowning yourself
Think about that one.
in a ritual death, and then calling Jesus' spirit into your body for the rebirth.
Can someone please bring up the picture of Carrie? Because that's what that brings into mind.
Carrie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do I need to Google?
Carrie. and they say that I Google better than everybody else. And it may be.
But wait, like Kerry?
It's the freaking Stephen King film, Carrie. C-A-R.
Oh,
Wow. How...
I was born in the 80s. I was a toddler. I wasn't allowed to watch these things.
I was a toddler. My mom brought me to The Exorcist.
Yeah. My parents would have never brought me to that movie. Ah, there she is, covered in blood. I get it.
Now show that picture. This is what the all the Kountze are.
I'm covered in the blood.
Covered in the blood.
Covered in the blood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
From
Christians-
Prom
This is
Queen.
what they're going to do for prom. Right here.
Yeah, cover everyone in blood.
That's Kountze Prom 2012, right there.
We're going to cover the kids in the blood, but it was their idea.
It was all their idea.
It was all their idea. None of us parents coerced them into doing this.
This is their Sea of Red.
Yeah, it's all the kids' ideas. We're not telling them to do it.
There's always room for a biblical plague.
But let's start we already made the
Yeah,
argument once. Let's start it over again.
Yeah, we can do it again, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me describe the whole thing.
Well, hold on a second. First, you describe it. Who's going to argue for the school?
Well, Will was doing.
I can
a
argue
fantastic
for the
job
school.
earlier.
Who's Will? I'm talking about between me or Billy Bob.
Oh, Billy Bob.
Billy Bob's
Oh,
here.
Billy
Will's
Bob.
not here tonight.
Will-
Billy Bob's clearly for the separation of church and state, but
Well, hold on. Don't make your argument yet, Billy
Okay.
Bob. He's going to set
Let
it up.
me start from scratch here and
Wait.
describe what happened. I don't know. Okay.
I didn't do anything.
I don't know what that's supposed to do.
Billy Bob's hair.
For the first 3 games of their varsity high school football season, several of the Kountze cheerleaders have been holding up these signs for the football players to victoriously run through and
Amen.
show their strength by running through paper.
Praise be his strength that gives them.
Strength that gives them to tear paper.
Paper.
If it weren't for Jesus, you wouldn't be able to tear paper. Logic. Anyway, they've been holding up these signs. The football players run through them. These signs have had biblical scripture on them. Notably, the biblical scripture that kind of promotes Jesus as the strength giver. There's a sign of it right there.
Amen.
I can do all things through Chris.
Chris T.
Christy.
Get it right?
Strengthens me.
Phil.
From Phil.
He's a Christian
At
rapper.
4:13 p.m.
Chris T. He's like
He
Ice-T.
actually did a really good job of getting because that was done at like 7 o'clock, and he said that they made that sign up. You know, he said that at 4:13. We ought to go put a sign up about that.
Yeah, at 3 hours.
Quote Phil. Yeah. He did a really good job of that.
You know, the kids, it's an argument
Creative.
for child labor. I mean, they
Yeah,
are
it
more
really
efficient.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's just-
Anyway,
Except for the fact that they can't really get the spacing right. That would,
it's kind of hard.
apparently, that's one thing that Christy
That's
cannot
what-
help
yeah,
them
that's
with.
We
what
made
happens when you
strengthens too big.
That's what happens when you just puke letters onto a giant paper.
But they're so clever.
I like the
them-
wood-
them
I like-
cheerleaders. They're just clever.
I like the wood grain on the T, by the way, which you can't really make out on this. This is a
But
nice wood grain.
So they've been having these signs. Football players tear through them, and somebody made a complaint to the Freedom from Religion Foundation, who in turn wrote a letter to the school district's superintendent and said, you can't do this. It's illegal. The Supreme Court has already told you this. You better stop. So
Stop it.
the superintendent got legal counsel from the attorney for the Texas Association of School Boards and his own legal counsel there at the district. And they told him to stop, at which he did, and wrote a letter to students and teachers telling them you can no longer allow religious signs of religious in nature, to be displayed at football games.
But on the back of your trucks, it's totally acceptable.
Yes. So they lost it. They went apeshit and decided that they were going to fight this all the way.
And
They, as of this past week, they were granted a restraining order against the district.
Correction.
temporary.
Temporary.
Thank you.
Restraining order against the
Giggity.
district.
Let's be accurate.
Let's be accurate. A temporary restraining order against the district to prevent the district from stopping them from putting the signs up. That's complicated.
It is.
So they are allowed to put the signs up for the next 10 days or so.
Yes.
October 4.
And it was really important that we acknowledge the hard work of the attorneys that represented the cheerleaders, staying up all night to make sure that they were able to get a ruling in time for this weekend for the high school not to play.
Everyone had a
I
bye.
don't think that Kountze.
It was
I don't
a
think the Kountze
bye
varsity
weekend.
team played this. I mean, now they
No.
did have some middle school, junior varsity stuff
Yeah,
like that.
but no one
the
really
varsity
cares
team-
about them.
No, but the varsity team.
It's true.
The varsity team did not play. I don't think.
No, absolutely they did not. None of them did. Viter didn't. P&G.
No.
All of them were off.
It
So-
was a bye weekend.
Which really weakens our whole argument. But hey,
And no, apparently it wasn't bisexual weekend. It was just a bye weekend.
Yeah,
no.
who knows? It could have been.
BYE. Get it right. It's football.
Wasn't a bisexual weekend for you, but
Football, Lord Jesus.
So
And there is a song
that
about this,
being
by the way.
There is a
Somebody
song.
wrote a song about it, by the
Well,
way.
you know there's someone's going to write a song about it. All them Kountze in Texas wanting to pray to Jesus.
put a boot up your ass.
And
the
freedom ain't
American
free.
way.
It's a
Freedom ain't
bucko
free.
five.
Bucko.
And that'll get you in the football game. So that being said, this is the setup to the issue.
The issue, yes.
I
Here's
don't
the
know what
issue.
you're trying to show.
Kids are putting up biblical,
Brightness, maybe?
Kids
No, there you go.
kids wearing uniforms, representing the school, are holding up religious signs for football players to run through. Is this allowed? Why is this good?
Well,
Why
of
is
course
this
it's
bad?
allowed. It's allowed by the freedom of speech from the Constitution.
What-
SPEACH, as I've seen it spelled.
Speech. The freedom of speech.
SPEACH.
Freedom of screech.
Speech. Speech.
Saved by the bell.
Freedom of speech.
Billy Bob, can you tell me what is the amendment that is granted?
Well,
What
there's.
would've been
I don't know which one, but there's one of them that says that something about
It's in the
us
Declaration
having,
of Independence.
Look.
Yes.
The root of the whole issue is America was founded on Christianity.
Right.
It was founded by the founding fathers.
That were
they
Christian.
were all Christian. They all prayed and they gave thanks to the Lord on Thanksgiving when they should have. And they put it on our money and our Pledge of Allegiance. It's the Bible. I mean, it's the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically,
Wait.
Your argument, Billy Bob, is they said we're going to set up a government, threw a Bible on the table and said, there's the law.
Sign
Get
it.
on with it.
Well, when you go into court, they make you put your right hand on the Bible, right? I mean,
No, they don't.
It was
What?
our founding
No, they
fathers. Our founding fathers were, first of all, not Christian. They were deists. Deists.
Deist, same thing as a Christian.
No, it isn't. A deist is someone who believes in a God, but an unknowable God, a God that they believe created the universe and set everything in motion, but does not pay attention to us, doesn't care about us, is indifferent to us, doesn't answer our prayers at all. It doesn't believe that they manifest that this God can manifest in human form. That they rape 12-year-old Jewish girls in Nazareth. They don't believe any of that.
That is not Jesus.
That is not what a deist believes. That is what a Christian believes. And so our forefathers were some were Christian, but some were deists, including Thomas Jefferson. So no, it isn't true that we were founded as a Christian nation by Christian founders.
But it's on our money.
True. It was been on our coins since the 1800s, but it was put on our money in 1957 as out of fear of communism, because communists were seen as godless, and they wanted to show just how not communist they were by putting, as the GOP it tends to do, is that they try to overcompensate to show just how not gay they are. Mm-hmm. That they persecute gays, and then show how not communist they are, or just how Jesus-loving they are. They're going to force everyone to acknowledge a God, ignore the Constitution. Now, the only reason that it's even allowed on our money is because it is non-sectarian. It does not imply Jesus or Zeus or the flying spaghetti monster. It is a nebulous idea of a God, a sectarian God. So there's nothing that says on our money that Jesus is God or that this is a Christian nation. In God We Trust does not set us up as a Christian nation. It could just as easily mean we are a Zeus nation.
Well, there's no separation of church and state in the Constitution.
Yes, there is. The Establishment Clause in the First Amendment of the Constitution says that Congress shall make no law establishing a religion, period. And the writings of Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Ben Franklin, all confirmed that they intended those words to mean that there was a wall of separation between the state and religion. Precisely because of the fact that they did not flee to the United States or to form the United States because they wanted to be free to be Christians. They came to this country because they were trying to stay away, to flee a government-sanctioned Anglican church. So why would they come over here and set up an establishment clause in the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights to say that we're not allowed to establish a religion in this country? Why would they set that up if they wanted Christianity to be mandated? Why would they flee a country in which they were being forced to worship one faith and set up the exact same thing over in the United States? They would not. Anybody who says that is ignorant of history, ignorant of law, and just plain ignorant.
Well, now you're calling me ignorant.
Yes,
calling
I
me
am.
names.
I am.
and
It's
such.
not calling you a name. It's simply I am simply I'm claiming a certain level of knowledge of what you're talking about. That's all I'm saying.
But it's freedom of religion, not freedom from religion.
Absolutely, it is freedom from religion, because of the fact that the Establishment Clause says that the government cannot establish a religion. That means that it is believable. It is obvious to me that I should be free of religion when I am on public land. If I'm enjoying public services, then I should be free from a religion, because of the fact that government agency cannot endorse a religion. So there's not going to be any religion there. So I should be free from religion when I'm there. Now, certainly, I don't expect to be free from religion in the public, like when I'm walking around the street and ban people from being able to have a religious T-shirt on or whatever.
Seeing a sign posted in front of a church.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that, but I do expect that when I walk into my government buildings, when I walk into a school, to not be inundated with religious symbols and religious speech, because of the fact that it implies endorsement of that religion, and that violates the Establishment Clause. So I am free from religion in a public building.
Why don't you use the obvious rebuttal to that is, well, if you don't like it, you can look the other way.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you can get out of my country.
No.
Oh.
Better. You can look the other way.
You can look the other way.
You can ignore it.
Oh, yeah. That was the one that I heard.
I've heard this argument a lot.
Oh, I just broke character.
Well, sure, but it still violates the Establishment Clause. It doesn't matter if I see it, I recognize it, or whatever. You cannot, if I turn my head, I choose to ignore you in the public when you give me that stuff.
Well, here's the thing, and here's the rub on that. It's not only, yes, violation of the Establishment Clause, but one of the reasons why it's a bad violation is because in this instance, especially with the football players, the cheerleaders, the religious signs, etc., the argument I keep hearing, especially from that core group themselves, is that this isn't. No one's complained about this. None of the students have complained.
No,
about this.
they're all in agreement. They all want to do it.
All of this is students.
So your argument is not the you can turn the other way. It's the look at how many people agree with us.
But you don't know how many of those people agree with you. And even if all but one agree with you, you're doing the wrong thing.
Thus the title of the show, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this is constitutional math. How 1 equals infinity.
Exactly.
Right? It doesn't matter how many people support your cause. You could have 20 billion people out of the 7 billion that exist on this planet.
That makes sense.
That's good math right there.
Let's say you have 6,999,000,000. 999,999 people.
That's a long
and
number.
There's one person.
And there's only one person in that district that disagrees with you.
By the way, if God were real, shouldn't that be the number? Anyway, go ahead.
It should be the number. If Christianity is the true religion, that should be the only number.
Yeah.
But if only one person in that district, and the rest of the entire freaking planet agreed with you, it still violates the Establishment Clause, and it still violates their rights under that clause because they are being coerced. The simple fact that there is a huge majority of people that do not agree with him and do not hold their opinion is a coercive action to intimidate them, to keep them from speaking up and
how do you know you're
against
intimidating them? Because they haven't said one goddamn word.
That's right. Exactly.
Of course, none of them are complaining. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why would they?
That's right, and you look at the sheer numbers that come out in support of them in their group simply proves that point.
Yeah.
That this, if there were anyone that was willing to possibly that was waffling on the idea of possibly speaking out, like the person that took the pictures and sent them to the FFRF in the first place.
Yeah.
This number of the sheer support that they've received, the majority of people that have expressed their support for the cheerleaders works as a disincentive for that person to come out. It would be social suicide to come out. You would just have to have some massive balls. Mm-hmm. And luckily we do have people that have huge balls.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm going to get on that point. The one thing that I am sick of hearing in this entire story is the brave nature and describing these fucking children as brave for standing up against the minority.
Yeah.
Standing up against the minority. They're going with the grain. They're going with what their parents think. They're going with what the majority of their student body thinks. And they're standing up against one fucking person. And they're brave?
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. Mm-hmm. How is that brave? Who's brave are the kids that go on television that stand up against all of them. Stand up against the 30,000 people in Kountze or the 30,000 people in that group that are saying that anybody who opposes this is a godless bastard. The kids that stand up against that, those kids are brave. These cheerleaders are cowards.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just all there is to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah. Oh wait, can I stop representing Billy Bob now? Because
you can stop.
It's giving me heartburn.
I don't want to give you a heart attack.
Well, and to add to your point earlier about the how this defies the law. How
Shit, I don't have to fucking get some milk or something to calm me down after that.
I know, man.
Is that going to help? Should I throw it in your face? What?
I don't know, man. That just had
But to go on
good to
how
release.
this defies the law again. The argument, it's freedom of speech. These kids are just doing what they want to. They're just speaking their mind. They don't care if anybody. They're not trying to preach to anybody. But there was one girl. There was one girl who went on the news and said, "Since we've done this, so many kids have come to Jesus."
Proselytizing.
Thank you.
Yep.
You just
Hold
evidence.
On. You didn't let me finish. Proselytizing. Sectarian.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you're in defiance of the law. You can't do that.
But wait a second. Did she not also say that her parents gave her the idea?
Yeah, she said the only reason.
I'm not exactly sure about that one, but you guys say
No,
Yes, she did.
it is definitely in
I heard that they got the idea from cheerleading camp.
But she said without my parents,
Without
we would
her
have never
parents.
had this idea.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah,
And
they bought
not
the material.
student led.
Yeah.
Not student led.
Yeah.
Right, not student led at all. It's actually implied by the parents, which I don't even understand why it has anything to do with the parents anyway, unless they're just really concerned for souls. They really want to convert a lot of people, and they feel making these signs
that's how they make money.
But wait a second.
It's like bumper stickers. How's that going to convert anyone?
You tell me that it's the 99%. They're arguing 99% of the kids that go to Kountze are Christian, and you're saving souls. Mm-hmm. Who?
They like to preach to the choir.
They're all flipping Christian right now.
They like to preach to the choir, What about those souls
who are you saving?
What about those souls that aren't really doing the Lord's bidding? They're just kind of doing the Lord's bidding. It's not like these kids are out doing drugs there I go with Billy Bob again.
And if you're that brave student, you take this, go to a majority Muslim school, and put these signs up and talk about how brave your kid is. I'll buy that. I'll give you that. What a brave little kid to go out there and stupidly do that.
Yeah, it's like Stephen in our little thing says, she said thanks to her parents for giving them the idea. And so the parents themselves gave them the idea to make these banners for the games. So, those parents should actually feel a little bit bad about what they did because they've brought so much attention.
Yep.
But maybe they feel the reverse is true.
Not only are you bringing attention now, you could be construed that you're wasting the district's money. You're wasting taxpayer dollars.
Are those parents the ones that are following the suit?
Yes.
Because I'm hoping that they are, because the Silsby case that the Fifth Circuit ruled against the cheerleader, saying that the cheerleaders are what?
A mouthpiece for the school.
A mouthpiece for the school, in that they represent the what? The fucking school. Mm-hmm. That means that whenever they're out there giving their speech in their uniform at a school-sanctioned event, they are representing the school. Violating the Establishment Clause. This has nothing to do with their free speech.
It's called legal precedent.
Right. Ooh. The Fifth Circuit ruled that not only did the school was ruled in favor of the district against the cheerleader, but they also ordered the cheerleader to pay back the district for their court costs.
Well, yeah, and that's true, and it could be a case here where the district gets their money back. That might happen, but in the meantime, the district has to spend money they could spend on urgent needs for themselves on legal battles now, because you're just apparently some kind of a liberal money waster. And
you don't need teachers or computers or anything like that for school. You need it for legal defense funds.
You're Mr. Sewer. You're Mr. and Mrs. Sewer. You're just going to sue everybody.
Right.
Damn liberals and their lawsuits.
God damn liberals. Just liberals in general. Yeah. I mean, you just take anything else that liberals
bleeding
got.
Heart liberals.
They're hard
to fix everything.
Mm-hmm.
Make things better.
Why?
things are great now. They were even better in the 50s, back when black people didn't know what they could have, and women,
didn't have to work. Didn't work.
Yeah, look how many women have to work now. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to work back then.
Yeah.
All of them.
What are you trying to show us now?
I don't know. You're
just trying to show shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to do like several things at once here.
You can Skype us too, by the way.
Please Skype us.
GTFO TX. Still waiting on B to show up. He did add us as a contact in Skype, but I don't see him online.
So he's thinking about it. It's that idea steaming around in his head right now.
Anybody who wants to be on, just go ahead and give us a call on Skype, and we'll put you on because we want to hear your opinion, even though most of the people that are probably watching this don't agree with all the Kountze in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they, as we said earlier, which probably wasn't heard, they obviously have a Facebook page, supports Kountze. Support Kountze.
I'm just not going to hear that freaking word without thinking the bad.
Going to Kountze to get some poonts. No, they have a support the Kountze Kids Facebook page, and which they have several thousand members.
How many
most
is
of
it
which
up to now?
that is a good question. It is the running total. Can I get a drum roll, please? 42,1.
42,000?
Yeah, I wish I had $1 for every person that was in this group, so I'd have a new car. But you can see the group that I'm scrolling through here. This is their group. They have comments ranging from anywhere from for it to absolutely for it.
It's good to see that they're covering the whole.
Yeah, they're being very fair.
They're taking in everybody. Let's have a big discussion about this. All right, let's have a debate. Those who are for it and those who are absolutely for it.
Raise your hand.
Awesome.
No, but they
have a poll. It's like, who supports the kids? Do you support the kids? Yes, 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 and oh my Jesus, yes.
I mean, and most of these posts are in support, and I just don't see any dissenting opinions. Oh, wait, maybe that's because all of the people who had dissenting opinions have been banned from the group.
No, they would never ever do that. They would never. These people support free speech. They're fighting on the side of free speech. Free speech should never be abridged at any time, any place, anywhere. What the fuck are they doing banning free speech? They would never do this, Will. Are you saying that they're deleting?
I have no evidence, but I see a whole lot of people talking to themselves, referencing other people's names.
These are Christians. They may be praying to God.
Well, but they're pretty mad at God.
They're giving a bunch of names that no longer exist as members.
Absolutely.
God has many names.
And
like
here's a prime
Jason.
example of this. Okay, so we have this guy here, and I've been in many Facebook debates with this guy, Primo Bass. He's a local musician from Southeast Texas.
I think it's Primo Bass. He's
Primo
talking
Bass.
about a really good fish.
Oh, well, that makes even more sense.
Primo bastard.
But he's I think this was one of the guys in the band the Floppy Tacos. So a good Christian.
Don't give him a freaking plug.
He's a good Christian man for being in a band with that title, right? But he says under the he basically says, please remember, as the group continues to grow, there will be people coming here with the purpose of starting trouble. The only way they win is if you react to them. Do not argue, debate, or engage, or in any way engage these troublemakers. Ignore them and contact an admin or type admin ... under the offending person or post so that the staff can get to it and remove it.
Oh, there's your evidence right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sorry. I'm having a really hard time with his wording with this. We need everyone's help in keeping this a nice place. And remember, the purpose of this group is for one thing and one thing only, showing love and support for these kids. If you continually interact with these folks, you are part of the problem and you will be removed.
Oh, wow.
So even if any of these people in this group acknowledge our existence, they're gone too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Just everybody shut up.
Just shut up and have them deleted.
Mm-hmm.
We'll remove their voice and their dissent from the public sphere, incidentally doing exactly what we're accusing the other side of doing. But hey,
don't
don't pay attention to that.
We're not discussing anything negative here.
This is all positive.
It will be deleted.
Steve Stockman is with us.
Don't say Jehovah.
Steve,
Jehovah.
Steve Stockman is with us.
Who threw that?
But and so you absolutely can't even have a conversation with these people about any aspect of this.
So a good debate about it, a good honest debate. No name calling, anything else is just not going to be tolerated.
Absolutely, yeah.
But a
nothing.
good honest, even a respectful, honest debate will not be tolerated.
I think a couple of our friends have gone in there and tried to do that very thing. Mm-hmm. And as I'm looking for their posts, I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, they've been surgically removed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. First, we're going to watch an ad, which I won't even give this car company.
I don't have it loaded up.
Okay, good. But this has gone to national news all around the country. I guess that's what national means, isn't it? But Fox and Friends is on the case. And so this is the actual news story according to Fox. Well, obviously, we're not going to have any video or audio, but that's beside the point. The fact is that this has gone to national news and that it is happening right here in Beaumont amid a firestorm of other things that are going on here in Beaumont, as if this wasn't enough for us to have to deal with here. But I think this is a pretty clear-cut case of people using a school for proselytizing in every way, shape, and form, and there's no real way you can get around it being non-proselytizing. Is that what you would?
Non-sectarian.
Non-sectarian, absolutely. Using the Bible, which is the basis of the Christian faith, not the Muslim faith, not the Hindu faith, not the Buddhist faith, and saying that it's non-sectarian somehow, arguing that you can't. So therefore, we have really the only argument we need against it. Plus, there's precedents. Wasn't it Santa Fe? What is it?
Santa Fe Veto.
That's I advise anyone who thinks that they're in support of this, in support of these kids.
Go ahead and pull that up, Will.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up.
What is it?
Google
Santa Fe Veto.
All right.
DOE.
Santa Fe Veto. Getting it going here.
And I advise anyone who thinks they're in support of these kids and their freedom of speech to read the arguments, read the majority opinion. And
we encourage you to call in.
Because as much as I've debated with people over the past week on this thing, it seems that none of them have even considered the possibility that some poor kid's getting steamrolled in school by the majority of kids who say they're Christian.
Right.
And that's just not. If they don't like it, they don't have to look at it. Well,
Right.
They do have to freaking look at it.
I'm
Right.
hesitant to use the Wikipedia, but
If they're on
Yes,
the
use that. That's
football
fine.
team,
It's got the
if they're on the
word.
football team, do they have the opportunity to dissent? No, not really. If you think about it in terms of a high school kid, yeah, they would take a lot of balls for them to do it, like you said earlier.
here we just Googled that for you. Mm-hmm. So please
Just go ahead and scroll down to the bottom. It'll towards the bottom. It'll show the decision. Right. Just read that, because that's the only thing that really counts is what they said. Because what you'll notice is there's nothing really in the decision that excludes this speech specifically. So go ahead and read that off.
Yeah, it says the court held that the policy allowing the student-led prayer at the football games was unconstitutional. The majority opinion written by Justice Stevens depended on Lee v. Wiseman is held that these pregame prayers delivered on school property at school-sponsored events over the school's public address system by a speaker representing the student body under the supervision of school faculty and pursuant to a school policy that explicitly and implicitly encourages public prayer are not private but public speech.
Right.
Did I read that right? Regardless of the listener's support for or objection to the message, an objective Santa Fe high school student will unquestionably perceive the inevitable pregame prayer as stamped with the school's seal of approval. A dissenting opinion was written by Chief Justice Rehnquist.
Yeah.
Rehnquist, joined by Justice Scalia and Thomas.
Well, the three most conservative judges on there.
Yeah.
But the thing is so you've got kids representing the school in the school uniform at a school event on the field under the supervision of the school, and whether they're using the loudspeaker in this particular case is irrelevant because they're not reading off of the banner. The banner itself implies you don't have to hear it, you can see it. And the fact that they're holding it and the football team runs through it, that gives that stamp of endorsement there. The same thing applies to this speech in this particular case.
Absolutely.
And then you take that in conjunction with what was the decision in the Fifth Circuit on the other cheerleading case from Silsbee, same area, that says that the cheerleaders are the mouthpiece. But so for them to create this sign confirms that they are the mouthpiece. This is the mouthpiece. This is the opinion of the school to put forth this Jesus-centered sign. And there's a Ninth Circuit court, and which would be the Western coast of the United States. The Ninth Circuit Court also ruled that football, sectarian and proselytizing speech could not be used at all in schools, even if it's an individual student. You can't use this overtly proselytizing and sectarian speech that specific, that if you're going to use it. So even if you had, like, you were a valedictorian of the class and you were going to give your speech and you wanted to say, I believe Jesus through all things. I can do all things through Jesus and he strengthens me because Phil said so. I can't say that in my.
You can talk all about Christy you want to, but
Christy, you can say all about anything, but you can't say Jesus. Christy, fine, but I can do all things through Christ. I can't use that because that's overtly proselytizing and sectarian in nature. And so even that speech, even though it's an individual student's opinion, not necessarily representing the school, the court still found that was not protected speech.
Yeah.
And so because of the fact that the implied endorsement by the school. So I just don't see how they have a freaking leg to stand on in this case.
No, I don't see it either. And even though they were granted a temporary restraining order, I don't see that
emphasis on the word temporary, please.
Temporary, and that literally was a 14-day restraining order.
Yep.
So they're going to go into the injunction, the temporary injunction hearing next, I believe, on October 4. So
one of our friends brings up that it's basically a way for 40,000 people to be sheep together and be like-minded about a subject.
You can go to church and do that.
Absolutely.
You can go to church and do that.
This is Facebook church. This is what they're promoting, what they're doing.
No. The football game. Are you talking about the 40,000 people in that?
Yeah. That's what she's referring to. Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's a way for them to kind of get in there and reaffirm each other's faith. I can't wait for the decision to come down because of precedents. It has to go one way. It should.
Eventually, it's going to hit that wall.
Yeah, and so
I have a feeling that somewhere, if it gets to the higher courts, a higher court's going to say, "We told you once."
Right. We've already done this. Why is this back here? It's like them coming back and trying to teach intelligent design next to evolution, which we have the Dover case, which is precedence, which will basically tell any other judge who looks at the case later, and if I'm getting precedence wrong, let me know, but this is my interpretation of it.
Works, yeah.
So they will make a decision based on the decision of another person who has already evaluated the evidence and already looked at the argument and said it doesn't stand. Right.
And going in and saying, but it's all still intelligent design, but we're calling it Pintelligent Design. This is all a new case now. Yeah. No, it doesn't really work that way. Yeah. This isn't prayer. It's just scripture.
Well, and I've heard this. This is just scripture. It's not prayer. That was prayer. Also, that was done over the taxpayers' PA system. This is done. The kids paid for this themselves.
It doesn't matter. If the kids said it themselves. If the kid, if you take away the freaking banner, take it out of it, and the girls just yelled out in their cheer, "Jesus is a friend of mine." If they did that,
that was a wonderful song.
they would still violate the Establishment Clause. It doesn't matter who paid for the banner. It doesn't matter at all. They could say it themselves out of their mouths. It doesn't matter. It's still against the law.
Correct. And this is going to be the issue. And a lot of people just, if you agree with, again, if you agree with the students, if you agree that
Will's like really paying attention here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
If you agree with the students,
I'm doing like 40 things at once.
If you agree that the cheerleaders have freedom of speech here, go read the majority opinion in Santa Fe v. Doe. And I mean, I'm not just talking about the Wikipedia entry which you just read. I'm talking about go read the whole case, read the arguments.
Well, I'm sure the whole school district was for them doing that.
And
right?
in that case, actually, they were suing the school district. The school district, or the students were suing the school district.
Oh, okay. So the students were suing them because they banned it.
The school district had actually implemented this as policy.
Right. Okay.
In this case, they're not. But if you want to have some real fun, since all the attention this is bringing to the area, let's see how many cases come out of the number of schools who are actually having prayer over the public address system at their high school football games right now.
And I'm sure there are a lot of watchdogs out there. So
if you're seeing this, record it.
Yeah, if you're watching us, record where you're at.
Because we know for sure that is illegal. You can't split hairs on that one and say the students brought it themselves. No, that's the exact thing the Supreme Court ruled on. So on this one, go nuts.
And I know I've been to them. I've been to them, and this was post 2000. I've been to PNG games where they read, they had the prayer out over the loudspeaker, and I was just like, that was the last one I went to. In fact, it's the last high school football game that I went to because I just couldn't stand it.
Well, now the PNG games that I've been to, I remember when that all started taking place, they would read this thing where it said that they were, according to this court ruling, we are no longer allowed to use the public address system to have a prayer. So in lieu of that, and they would go through this whole speech, we will have a moment of silence. And then immediately the crowd, at least on my end of on the stands over there, would immediately erupt into the Lord's Prayer, which is just like a Chili's. When you get there, your waitress reads off something from her brain to you, and you said, "No, I don't want a strawberry lemonade. I want an iced tea."
Yeah.
So it's this robotic thing, and then everybody finishes.
That would be so cool. Iced tea showed up at your table. Go ahead.
But and then the game starts, and I remember at the time as a Christian going, that's crazy, that they're having to do this. Now, as a non-believer, I understand it fully because I understand the other side of why it would be offensive.
Even when I was a believer, I couldn't fathom violating the Establishment Clause. I understood all that. I understood why they kept those things out. That wasn't difficult for me to understand.
It's not that it's not difficult. It's not that it is difficult. I'm going to defend them a little bit. It's not that it is difficult for them to understand. It's that they're being blinded by their bias.
Yeah.
Their bias is so strong, and that
was me.
What we were talking about yesterday, right? That they claim we look at them and we go, how ridiculous they are at claiming that they're victims. Right? It's ridiculous. You think it's ridiculous.
No,
right?
but I remember.
You remember it.
The feeling of being persecuted.
Let me explain to you why we think it is that they're being persecuted, right? And why they believe that they're being persecuted,
right.
And why it's so easy for them to think this. We were talking about this last night. That it's ridiculous to us that they think that they're being persecuted all the time. However, as non-believers now, we know that what they may be feeling is reality. Challenging their beliefs every day.
Every single day.
Every day. They're running into something that is slapping them in the face.
Science
And news reports and everything that they see on television, they hear in music, in the
all
movies.
You smart people are going for the sciences.
They are being oppressed
with reality.
By reality.
Yeah. It's so it stands to reason that they would feel like it's not that there's an active attack on Christianity necessarily. It's just that we can't legislate reality out of their lives. where they're going to say that we don't have a freedom from religion, they don't have a freedom from reality.
Sure.
There's nothing in the Constitution. There's nothing anywhere that says that they have a right to be free from reality. And I'm sorry, get used to it. But you're going to have to deal with the fact that Christianity simply isn't congruent with reality and what we know at all. You're going to run into this every day.
When you start off in your only holy book and you're wrong at the beginning.
Well, like
wrong.
They're saying, you read the Bible, it explains everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do that. I open up the book, I read the Bible, I get to the second freaking sentence.
Yep.
Verse 2, Genesis 1. I've already got a problem. It doesn't describe anything correctly. So can you please help me out with this? And the response was, I'll pray for you.
Because you need that prayer to get that holy understanding.
It's like, I'll pray. No, that was the Christian. Fuck you.
What are you praying for? Are you praying for me to get a Bible that's scientifically accurate? What? I mean,
or that I just forget that's not how hydrogen's made.
Yeah.
I mean, our oxygen's made.
Or how light is made, and how
light is made, or
before anything that can produce light is made.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if you give them the ability to create photons outside of the existence of a star, which we know that is possible.
Sure.
That can be created without us. We have light bulbs, no star.
That's not a star, yeah.
Right. So photons can be created. That's easy. But the idea is that you're believing that, and what this person, admittedly, I got to give her credit, him, her, whatever. I don't know, but anyway, it was this Christian was at least. Recognize that no one had made an attempt to even answer the question, even though I was being obviously facetious in my response. But they didn't even try to attempt to answer it. And this person took a shot at it and decided, well, maybe. Have you ever thought maybe this is the reason? Maybe God could create water fully formed without the need for stars to create the oxygen atoms that create water, assuming that's how they're made. Which I gave her evidence for that to support that. So you don't have to assume it; it's fact. But
that's pretty sad.
But she says maybe God made water fully formed, right? And so knowing that we would run out of oxygen because she was she admitted that she was not well versed in science. Right? That
I'm not
that God was smart enough to create stars to create more oxygen atoms. So that we wouldn't run out, right? And I was like, well, we don't run out of oxygen atoms, so they don't go away. They're still there. So plants.
It's not gas.
Are we extracting the oxygen from the stars somehow?
No. Well, I mean, they are coming from stars, but we're not extracting it. It's not pissing our shooting oxygen atoms at us.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's not even
because it's during the death of that star.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not even.
Yeah. If you're gonna get that oxygen out of that star,
we're gone.
You got to kill
away
it
from that star quick.
You got to kill it first. Yeah, it has to die.
It's gonna be big boom
for us to exist. A star had to die. And Lawrence Krauss, he says, "Forget Jesus. A star had to die for you to be born.
For you to be born, right?
Yeah.
For you to live.
Hallelujah, stars.
Hallelujah, stars.
Amen.
Yeah.
Praise stars.
Hydrogen furnaces.
Praise stars.
Praise be to fusion.
I do. I worship the stars. Being an amateur astronomer, I am a worshiper of those glowy balls.
Yes, you are.
You do worship balls
I do.
a lot.
I love glowy balls.
Yeah.
You're an astrologer.
I'm an astrologer, yes. And according to some of my family, I'm a Scientologist.
Oh.
Yes, because
I believe in science and I'm promoting science. There must be a Scientologist.
Scientology.
An ology is just the study of something. So if you study science, you're a Scientologist.
You study science, so you're a Scientologist.
Kill yourself.
Boom.
Yep. Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom.
Argument done. I
check.
Walk away.
Atheists.
Should we wrap this up?
We should, but it looks like this issue is going to continue for a while, and so I guess
we might even have 2 weeks on this. I don't know.
2 or 3, depending on how long the court decision takes.
We'll get some other people on here to discuss.
And we do have some upcoming guests, which we won't name anybody yet, but we do have some people coming in that are political experts and people who are, well, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Political experts, we've got what would you call him? A creationist expert? A creation apologist?
A Scientologist.
A Bibletologist.
A Bibletologist.
Bibletology. So we're going to have some interesting guests, and I think it's going to be, this little case right here is going to give us a lot to talk about for the next little while that we're going to do this, for sure.
Okay, let's get on with it then. This has been GTFO Live. I'm Jerry Mandarin. That's Will Young.
Hello. I mean, goodbye.
And Victor Minute. We'll see you next time.
Hello,
everybody.
goodbye. All right, bye.